What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody who support me and who support this platform, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. It's very much appreciated. Much love to y'all, man. I appreciate all the love and the support that I've been getting. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the thinking black men. Shout out to everybody, man. Much love, and we here. Y'all see the title? Y'all see the title. Tonight we gonna have some real talk, man. We gonna have some real talk. Because a lot of times, man, you know, I feel like a lot of men are afraid to be candid about what's going on today. I feel like they're afraid to basically address the issues that men have amongst each other. And as usual, I'm one of those ones that's not afraid to talk about it. If you actually go back into my archives and find some of my old lives back from 2017, I've been talking about this. I've been talking about and advocating for brotherhood. This is what I do, and this is what I've been doing. I'm this is not something that I just started doing and stuff like that. I've been doing this, man, because I feel like it's imperative that us men, as men, have a unbreakable bond. And it has nothing to do with the fact that women have the bond that they have with each other. Has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that, for one, we're all men. And for two, builders are supposed to build. You see? So this is what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some of the things that have destroyed masculine movements. Some of the things that have and has continued to destroy the bond between men, which affects the building process of us together, not us individually, because a man is going to build what he needs to build for himself and his family. So we're not talking about on an individual standpoint. We're speaking from the aspect of a group. Mainly, my brothers. The brothers that think like me and the brothers that look like me. We need to establish and keep our bond strong, because it's important that we do that in order for us to basically have what we say we want, which is legacy. You see, if you look at other groups of men, they put these little petty differences that have basically fractured our movements. They put those things to the side. They put those things in, the last things on the list to even worry about. Because they understand that we need to establish this for us, for our group of men. You see what I'm saying? This is how you have a lot of industries that was once heavily populated by us that has been taken over by other groups of men. And that's because of us. It's because the lack of brotherhood and things that we allow to come in between brotherhood. See, brotherhood should always be first. Us being men should be first. The men in our group, that should be the number one priority. Us building for us men and the men that look like us. That should be at the top of the list. Nothing else should really matter. But for some time now, a lot of things has come in between that. And it's even happened here on YouTube, you know, with the manosphere. With our side of the manosphere, rather. It has been destroyed because of, one, the possibility of vagina, you know, and the lack thereof that a lot of men, you know, experience. You know, there's a lot of men out here that, and this is why the conversation of women doesn't cease. This is why a lot of the content that you see be based on women that comes out of the manosphere is because a lot of brothers, that's their crutch. That's where they're stuck at. You see? This is why you see an influx of dating coaches and, you know, pickup artists and all of this type of content. It's because a lot of men are crying out about their problems with women. When they don't understand that by them sitting there focusing on that is the reason why we're stagnated as a group of men. The prospects of getting some vagina. You see? It's not women per se. It's the prospect of these guys getting some vagina. These guys really are bloodthirsty when it comes to some vagina. And as we saw right here on YouTube, that is what destroyed the Negro manosphere. It was because these dudes was caping just trying to get some buns. You see? And this has been going on for a long time. Let's even take it off of YouTube. Just growing up with your homies. A lot of the arguments you get in with your homies when you young is over what? Women. It's over women. And not specifically y'all arguing over a woman, but vagina. You always got a couple of dudes out the crew, maybe one or two, that when females come around, dudes like to start showing off. He not the same dude no more. Now he talking shit. Now he trying to put on and be extra and talk tough and do all of it. This is to impress women because they want some vagina. You see? I've got into it with a couple of my homies over shit like that when I was young. You know, dudes like to put on a goddamn, you know, a Ringling circus show. You know, they smell some cooch around, dudes go crazy. They go crazy. And you know what happens? What happens is it basically creates a separation in the brotherhood, because what happens is you're going to have guys that are going to say, listen, man, I don't want to deal with this because these dudes done lost sight of the mission. You know? Have you ever been at a party with one of your homies when y'all was young, or in the club, and he was always your homie that be dancing all around the club and get lost, and you and the crew looking around looking for him, and you catch him in the corner with a chick, you know, all hugged up, lovey-dovey, kissing and all that type of shit? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of masculine movements, a lot of brotherhoods was destroyed because of that. Because some of these guys don't have what I like to call dick discipline. And I did 2 shows on this too. Dick dignity. Guys don't have dick discipline or dick dignity. You know, some guys don't have a preference. You know, some guys don't have standards. And you know why they don't? Because they haven't been cultivated by men. See, a man has to give a man standards. A woman can't do that. A woman can't give a man self-worth because she don't know what it is to be a man. You see? So when I was young, a lot of times, a lot of dudes that I hung out with, they didn't understand that by you running off in the club and dipping off by yourself, you know, thirsting and being thirsty, trying to get some female, dog, you putting yourself in harm's way. But this is stuff, you know, a lot of dudes don't understand when they're young. Because when you young is when you really on the hunt for vagina. That's all you really care about. All you really care about is getting fresh and getting some vagina. Getting some phone numbers. So when you get a phone number, you think there's a possibility of you getting some vagina. And this have fractured the bond of men. Why do you think a lot of dudes that grew up together, when they grow up, they no longer around each other? Because everybody who was in the group, they all had different paths that they took. There was never a collective goal made by the crew. You see? And a lot of dudes get caught up in that. And now dudes is 30, 35 years old, and now they're trying to figure out what it is to become men. Now they want to develop a network of thinking men of substance, men of resources. They're thinking about this now. When we could have established that when we was 18. Because because now the women that most of these guys were chasing when they were young, when you look at them now, they all got a bunch of kids. They don't look the same, and you're not even attracted to them type of women anymore. So what you did was you actually wasted a bunch of goddamn time chasing pussy. You wasted a bunch of time. When we could have spent them years as young men building, creating shit. You see what I'm saying? This is why it's important to stress masculinity to young men. This is why. Because you don't want this next generation of boys growing up doing the same shit. I gotta bust me a nut. Huh? I ain't had sex in a month. I gotta bust me a nut. We was saying that when we was teenagers. And what have that created for us? You know what that created for most dudes I grew up with? It created them being away from their children. Because they got with women strictly for the sole purpose of busting a nut, and they had children, and now they got to see their children every once in a while. They live away from their children. There's no family structure. You see? And brothers, I'm talking to us tonight. You running around chasing a cat is part of the reason why, as a group, we are where we're at. You see? This is why you have an influx of men from the age, or young men from the age of like 18 to like 40. That's into MGTOW. That's into SYSBM. Because these are guys who all their life they was chasing the cat, and now they look back at their life, and they look at the results that came from that, and it bared no fruit. The only thing they got out of it was their children. That's the only thing. That is the only thing that they can say really was substantial, was the fact that they had children. And when the majority of our men are in that state and still in that childlike mindset, it's hard for us to build with one another. Because you're gonna end up finding that dudes are disingenuous. And this is what you saw with the Negro Manosphere. Dudes were disingenuous. They all had ulterior motives. It was only a few of them who really wanted to establish something for us as men. The rest of the guys was just trying to get some cat. Because, see, let me tell you something else. A lot of dudes will hang out with other guys who women like, and hopefully they could get an alley hoop or steal a female from one of them dudes. You got them dudes that hang around each other too. Well, since my man right here is a pretty boy, I'm going to hang out with him and hopefully one of his chicks' homegirls might like me. So he sit there and act like dude is his homeboy when he really hanging out with dude because whenever he's around dude, he could get some cat. And this is sad. This is sad. This is why, this is one of the reasons why, one of the main reasons why men are not building with men. Us brothers cannot build with each other. We're so destructive to each other. One of the number one reasons, vagina. Vagina. They don't feel comfortable being men without no vagina around. They need vagina. And like I said, this is why a lot of us wasted a lot of years. Had a bunch of children out of wedlock. Got a bunch of different baby mamas. Because dudes don't have dick discipline, dick dignity, or dignity within themselves. Because some dudes dedicate their life to laying up with women. Some dudes dedicate their life to that shit. They dedicate their life to it. Everything they do is based on what a woman is gonna find deemable so they could get some. And most of these men today are lonely. They don't got their shit together on a whole lot of levels, and they're psychologically messed up because of all the different relationships they've been in and all the things that they've been through in these relationships. When you hear these guys saying, "Oh, I told her to get rid of the baby. I didn't want the baby." He wasn't lying. It wasn't because he didn't want to be a father. It was because all he wanted was some vagina. And he didn't have enough discipline and self-control to protect himself. So then the dude blamed the woman. But he know at the end of the day, all he wanted to do was hit something. Man, I just wanted to hit it. It was so good, I couldn't pull out. How many times y'all done heard that? Any dudes that's in the chat right now, put a number one in the chat. How many times you heard your homie say some shit like that? Yo, it was so good, I ain't want to pull out. Put a number one in the chat if y'all heard y'all homies ever say that. I couldn't pull out. See, so y'all know what I'm talking about. And shout out to everybody in the chat too, by the way. The donation links is in the chat room. See, dudes gotta get over the fact of fiending for women. I'm talking about fiending. Y'all know what a fiend is. I'm not telling guys don't deal with women. Don't get no women. But what y'all gotta do is stop thinking that that is a priority. Getting some vagina should never be a priority unless you already got a woman. But if you a bachelor, you don't have no steady woman at home. Why is getting some vagina at the top of your list? But then y'all like to come online and talk about the state of men. Why we don't have this? Why we don't have that? One of the reasons is because we lack camaraderie as men. And we lack camaraderie because we lack vision as a group. We're very nearsighted. We're very nearsighted. All our goals are short term. See, you getting some vagina, that's a short term goal. This is why we sabotage each other. This is why. This is why. And it's ridiculous because at the end of the day, it's not doing us, it's only hurting us, brothers. As men. When we're dealing with each other as men, and we're supposed to be constructing and building things as men, women shouldn't even be in the conversation. Vagina talk should not even be mentioned. That's your personal business. That is your personal business. Don't let your personal business affect the politics of the group. But we've been allowing this to continue to occur. See, at the end of the day, when we're thinking men, when we're men of substance, you can never act like we've never played a part in any of our shortcomings as men. Because guess what? It's not a woman's fault that you thirsty. Let me say that again. It's not a woman's fault that you can't control your dick, homie. That's not her fault. It's not her fault every time you see a woman in some goddamn spandex, you go crazy. You're ready to give up your goddamn wallet. That's not her fault. It's not her fault God made her with something you're just infatuated with. That's not her fault. It's not her fault you only thinking with one of your heads. when the one on your shoulders is the one that controls the one in your pants. So you ready to sabotage the brotherhood so you can have a little, 15 minutes of fame. That's not her fault, bruh. Because guess what? Women were created to entice men. Let me say that again. Women were created to entice men. It is your job as a man to have control of you first. Because, see, let's go back to when we was young, fellas. If one of your homies met a female, right? And the female he talking to, she got homegirls. Now, your homeboy is the representation of the crew. Because homegirl is going to tell her homegirls, yo, listen, I just met this dude. He this, that, and the third, and he want us to come through. But if your man is thirsty, if your man is Mr. Softy, he ready to give up his goddamn lunch money soon as he sees some pumps. What you think her homegirls are gonna think about y'all? Oh, yeah, we're going over there and we're gonna make them pay for everything. Girl, I'm keeping all my money in my purse. We gonna have fun on them. So that's their fault. That's your fault. For one, dude, you embarrassed the whole crew. Because now all these females think we some trick, tender dick dudes because you're one. You see? You see? So now they come around, homegirl runs straight to your homie. You and the rest of the homies trying to talk to her friends, and they, I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. What we smoking? I need a pack of this. I need a pack of that. How you think that type of shit happens? Because you got Mr. Tenderoni in your crew. And he done made the whole crew look bad. Now the rest of his homies could be stand-up dudes. But they gonna have a problem all night. Because them women came to play. They came to play. They came to eat for free, drink for free, smoke for free, hang out, get VIP service. So you sitting there trying to talk to her, she in her phone. That's because you're homie. That's because you're homie. That's because you're homie, man. Now at the end of the night, we all mad. And you know what homie gonna do? Man, them, they was just fronting, man. I don't know why they was fronting like that. Duke, you know why they was fronting, Duke. You know why. Because you told them to come through and we was going to take care of them like it was goddamn happy hour. That's why we got played, Duke. You know that. But you want to sit here and act like, oh, they just stuck up. No. No. They was trying to see who was going to pay for some attention. Because that's what you do. And you said that because you know that those are the type of things that you think a woman gonna give up some vagina for. Well, come through. We gonna have bottles. You know, my man got that sour. So they coming through locked and loaded already. They ain't paying for nothing. They ain't giving up nothing. None of that. None of that. And see, growing up, I was always that dude who called shit like that out. You know what I'm saying? But dudes want to sit here and act like that's not what's going on. But that's what be going on. And that is one of the things that destroys masculine movements, that destroys brotherhood. Now, the next thing I'm going to mention is something that is all, see, because vagina is really, that is really the main thing that everything else is masked in. Because see, the next thing is money. Money. I was told this a long time ago by OG. He told me, he said, I appreciate that, Truth. Shout out to Truth as I know it. Appreciate it. He told me, he said, you want to know where a man it really stands with you? You're going to find out where a man really stands with you when it comes to money and women. That is going to test y'all brotherhood. When it comes to money and some vagina. Now, the second thing is money. Money. You wonder why you don't see a lot of, us men, our men, my brothers. You know why you don't see a lot of us in business together, in partnerships, creating corporations and all of that? It's because when one of us is getting money, right? And this is why I say even this is connected to the first one. Because see, a lot of times, like I'm going to give you an example. And we could keep it on the basic level, on the lowest level, which is the streets. The lowest level of business is the streets. That's the lowest level. Business starts on the ground. It starts in the street. Why do you think a lot of dudes in the streets double cross each other? Because they want to have the most money so they can do what? Get the most vagina. to get the most vagina. They want to have the most money so they could buy the best clothes, so they could buy the best jewelry, so they could buy the best cars, so they can get what? The quote unquote top tier women. And it's not for them to get these women and make them a wife and have children and build a legacy. It's just so they could get some vagina. You see? Us men getting all of this vagina, it's all an extension of our egos. It makes us feel like we're men because we felt like we've dominated a whole lot of women because we had sex with a lot of women. And this is why brothers double cross each other in business when it comes to money. Brothers always want to make more than each other. It's always a race to who has more. Who has more? Who has the better this? Who has the better that? When if we was building a goddamn building, does it matter if you are the goddamn does it matter if you're the crane operator? We all need each other. So because you are architect and I'm a bricklayer, that makes you better than me? How the hell are we supposed to construct the building if you focused on who's better than who has more than who? How's the building ever going to get built? How? And this is why you don't see this, because of these things. Well, I make more money than him. He can't tell me nothing. I make more money than him. That mentality is what destroys masculine movements. That mentality. Thinking you better than your brother. If that's the mindset you have, then that's not your brother. He's actually your opposition. Because that's how you actually see him. You don't see him as your brother. You don't see him as a resource to you and to the collective. You actually see him as an opposition. That's the purpose of you competing with him. I have no reason to compete with my brothers. You know why? Because I know I bring something none of the other brothers have. You see? This is why I don't have to compete with other men. Because I know I bring something that other brothers don't have. And if they do have it, I have it at a higher level. That may be my specialty, where you may lack in that area. So this is why you actually need me around to help strengthen you in that area. And you're going to help me. You're going to help me strengthen me in other areas. You're going to strengthen me in other areas that I lack in, that you specialize in. So what is the purpose of competing? Competing for what? Competing for what? Oh, I know what you competing for. You competing for some vagina. Ain't you, boy? You competing for that vagina, ain't you? You competing for that Instagram model, ain't you? That's what you competing for. You think you the cutest out the crew. Cause you gonna get the girl on Instagram. Y'all dudes need to grow up, man. I'm gonna have all the women in my chat room on YouTube. Cause you know I'm that dude. This is what dudes be doing though. And we wondering why there's no masculine movements, preferably of our own. You wonder why? You wonder why they always get sabotaged? You wonder why they always get infiltrated? Because you had a goddamn plant in there the whole time. You see? And this is destroying us as men. It's destroying us as men. It's setting us back as men. This is why you grew up with a bunch of dudes you ain't around no more. Because you couldn't build with them. Certain brothers you can't build with because they're not ready to build. They're not ready to build. A lot of dudes are selfish. So you cannot build with them because in their mind, they operating like women. It's all about me. Well, I ain't gonna help build this because I'm not seeing no instant return on my investment. They looking for instant gratification like a woman. Like a woman. Instant gratification. I need it now. What's that commercial? I need it now. I need it now. It's how a lot of these dudes act. This is why. Because brothers is focused on all the wrong stuff. And a lot of dudes are so, you know why a lot of dudes are selfish? It's because they think they can do it by themselves. And at the end of the day, you can't. If you're a thinking man, if you're a man that's about creating legacy, legacies aren't built alone. Just like corporations are not built with one person. Skyscrapers are not constructed with one goddamn person. Everybody plays a part. But if your mind is stuck in Coochville, you like, man, I ain't thinking about that today. I'll do that tomorrow. Cause you caught up in Netflix and chilling in Coochville. Your goddamn brain stuck in Vagina Town. You'll throw any one of your brothers under the bus to go back to Vagina Town. We all construction workers working for our own company. We got a contract. 2-3 dudes ain't show up to work today. Cause he was at the strip club this whole weekend that just passed. So he don't like to come to work on Monday. Cause he over there visiting Vagina Town. Like the goddamn strip club is going somewhere. Like women are just gonna start losing their vaginas. Like their vaginas are just gonna start disappearing. Dude, that's how dudes be acting. Like, dude, coochie ain't going nowhere, dog. It ain't going nowhere, bruh. like, come on. It ain't going nowhere, man. So you mean to tell me you overslept and didn't come to work with us today because you took a stripper home last night? That that's not acceptable, bro. At 30, 40 years old, that's not acceptable. You gonna give up on what we was trying to build because of a female. That's unacceptable, man. Well, nah, we can't go to the studio right now. You know, homegirl, she tripping. Man, I'm trying to get some head tonight. Man, I'm gonna see y'all later, cause she tripping. I'm gonna go home cause I want some head. And this is why, as a group, we don't have nothing. This is why the Arabs, the Arab men, the Dominican men, the Israelis, the Jewish man. It's not because, oh, these guys are evil. You know, they're down with the Illuminati. And no. What they did was they stuck to their plan. And they didn't let nothing deter them. This is why the Mexicans is running most of the goddamn construction sites now. It's not because dudes don't want to be construction workers. It's because dudes don't want to put their petty differences aside to actually run an industry. You don't want to stop chase. You don't want to stop visiting Vagina Town. You don't want to give Vagina Town a break. You put Vagina Town over your own goddamn life, over your own existence. Man, I just got paid. I'm going to Vagina Town. And they come and welcome you with open arms. Hey, baby. First thing, hold on, girl. Let me get me a drink. They just saucing you up for the they saucing your silly ass up. So they could get you for everything. Because you a cream puff. You're a cream puff. You're not showing any masculinity. You know what's part of masculinity? Dick control. Controlling your dick. Controlling your urges as a man. That's masculine. And you harness that energy and put it into something constructive. Because busting all of them nuts make you weak. It makes you vulnerable. But then you get online and talk about, yeah, us as a group, we don't have nothing. But then you the same dude that sabotaged the brotherhood for the prospects of some little $40 vagina. Because these women that you guys are chasing, they're not high quality women. You pay these little chicks $60 and visit Vagina Town. And that's what y'all doing. Y'all giving up y'all little $60, going broke for some vagina. And then you come back and, yo, what up, man? Yo, what we doing? What we doing? Vagina and money, man. Those are the things that have destroyed masculine movements. You see? Vagina and money, man. So I don't want to keep hearing why we can't do this, why we can't do that. Y'all know why. Because soon as you get a little bit of something, you gonna run the Vagina Town. That's why. This is why it's important. Brothers need to stop chasing the cat. Chase their purpose. See? And stop paying attention to what these women are saying on YouTube about the men who are chasing their purpose, who are working on themselves to become better men. Stop worrying about what they saying. Because they're just shaming you because they want you to come back and visit Vagina Town so they could drain you for your resources and prove that you're not masculine, that you're a cream puff, you're a weenie. That's all. And if that happens to you, whose fault is that? Because you allowed it. Because guess what? Fair exchange is not a robbery. You wanted some cat, you got the cat, she took your resources. How do you blame her? Fair exchange is not a robbery. She was twerking her little ass all in front of you. You was drunk in the strip club and horny. You threw all your goddamn money. So you blame her? So you blame her? Well, these women shouldn't even be being strippers. Shut your dumb ass up. Because soon as you get enough money, you going to go and entertain them women, Duke. Shut up. You know, our women need to start being escorts and shut up. You trying to hide the fact that you go broke from escorts. Shut up. Won't you and your brothers go hang out somewhere where it ain't no sex being promoted? Why don't y'all do that? You know what most dudes say when you mention something like that? Man, I ain't gonna just be hanging around no men. You know, I'm not fruity. See how dudes think? See how maggle-minded a lot of us brothers are? We so maggle-minded that we think if we hang out with brothers and don't indulge in nothing dealing with sex, we gotta be fruity. We gotta be fruity. That's the maggle mentality. You and your brothers go to a history museum. You and your brothers go to the library. You and your brothers just go to a pool hall and shoot pool. Go to an arcade. Go paintballing. Go to the gun range. Go hunting. Go fishing. We got to go to the strip club. Maggle-minded. 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 But shout out to y'all, man, for tuning in tonight. Let me go to the chat room. See the people here. If you haven't yet, smash that like button. The donation links is in the chat room. CashApp SHEEPSTAYSLEEPTV. The Streamlabs link is there. Don't hesitate to donate, y'all. I appreciate it. Shout out to my sis, Poetic Kells. I see you. Shout out to my brother, Mr. Sutton. What's good, my brother? Tony Smith, what's good, bro? Shout out to big bro, Sonny. What up, Back Down? I see you. Go Hard Black, what's good? Jack Tripper, what's going on, Jack Tripper? Who else up in here, man? James Kills, what's going on, bro? BYB, what's good, BYB? Handling Jones, salute. Shout out to my brother Darren, man. What's good? Truth, what's good, Truth? Salute to you. Tyrone Church, what's good, bro? Shout out to my man Haven. Devastation, what's good? Everybody that's here, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Thanks for y'all tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Y'all hit that Cash App. Hit that Cash App link. $ Sheep Stay Sleep TV, man. I appreciate all the love and the support. Much love, man. Like I said, man, brothers, let's like I said earlier, the head that's on our shoulders, let that control the head in our pants, man. Please. Because that is one of the main reasons why masculine movements are being destroyed. Because we even in competition with money because we want to get the best pick of some vagina. So let's keep that in mind, man. Let's keep that in mind, man. Accountability. Accountability, man. That's what us thinking men know. No matter how much situations we get in, that's life. We get into bad situations. That's life. I appreciate the donation, Hills in. Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate it. Bin Laden, what's going on? But let's at the end of the day, we have to take accountability. Like I always say, self-inventory, self-check. We could get into terrible marriages. We could get into all that. But at some part of that, we have to take accountability for what part we played in it because we allowed it. In some form or another, we allowed it. Partly Cloudy, what's going on, my brother? Thanks for tuning in, man. At some point or another, man, we can't sit here and complain about women not having accountability and not being responsible, but then we turn around and do the same thing. Come on, we can't do that. That's not masculine. So no matter what goes wrong in our life, no matter how much another person may have played a part, it's not 100% their fault because you allowed it. You allowed it. We've allowed our masculine movements to be destroyed. We've allowed it because of our own selfish motives, man. Our own individualized selfish motives that we won't put to the side, that we won't prioritize correctly. And it has affected us as a group. And it will continue to till we change it. But shout out to all the thinking men, preferably the thinking black men. But shout out to all the thinking men. Shout out to all y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate the love and the support, man. You've tuned in to Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross. And remember, y'all, we got to heal before we build. We got to heal before we build. If we still looking for vaginal validation, there's something wrong there, brother. You got to heal that part of yourself so we can build. Y'all have a good night. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.